Two candidates apply for the same job. Identical resumes, identical qualifications, identical answers in the interview. One of them is more conventionally attractive. Go on, be honest. Which one do you think gets hired? Studies on this exact scenario consistently find the same result. The more attractive candidate is rated as more competent, more intelligent, and more trustworthy, despite having provided literally nothing different to judge that on. This is the halo effect, and it's one of the sneakiest biases in psychology, because it doesn't feel like bias at all. It feels like instinct. The term was coined by psychologist Edward Thorndike back in 1920, after he asked military officers to rate soldiers on completely unrelated traits, like physical appearance, intelligence, and leadership ability. Thorndike found something strange. Officers who were rated highly on one positive trait were also rated highly across every other trait, even ones with no logical connection at all. A soldier judged as physically impressive was also assumed to be smarter and more disciplined, purely by association. One shining quality was quietly leaking into every other judgment, like a single bright light casting a glow across everything nearby. Thorndike named it after exactly that image, the halo. Here's the mechanism behind it. Your brain is lazy, in a very specific and efficient way. Fully evaluating a stranger's competence, honesty, and intelligence takes real time and effort. So instead, your brain takes a shortcut. It finds one easily visible trait and quietly assumes everything else lines up to match it. Attractiveness is the most studied trigger, but it's far from the only one. Confidence works the same way. So does a firm handshake, a nice haircut, an expensive-looking outfit, or even just speaking in a smooth, articulate voice. You've done this yourself, probably within the last week. Ever trusted a stranger's restaurant recommendation purely because they seemed well-traveled and put together? Ever assumed a smartly dressed person in a meeting was more senior or more capable before they'd said a single word? That's the halo doing its quiet work. None of that outfit or posture tells you anything real about their actual judgment. Your brain filled in the blank anyway, and it did it instantly, without asking your permission first. And here's where this stops being a fun quirk and becomes something genuinely consequential. Research has found the halo effect quietly shaping court sentencing, where more attractive defendants tend to receive lighter punishments for identical crimes. It shapes teacher expectations, where more attractive students are sometimes rated as more intelligent by their own instructors. It shapes elections, where taller, more conventionally attractive candidates consistently outperform equally qualified rivals. None of these outcomes are conscious choices. Nobody wakes up and decides to favor attractive people. The bias operates quietly, underneath conscious reasoning, dressed up as gut instinct, which makes it almost impossible to catch yourself doing it in the moment, because it doesn't feel like judging a book by its cover. It feels like reading the cover correctly. There's also a flip side researchers call the horn effect, where one negative trait drags everything else down with it. A single awkward first impression, an unfortunate outfit, a stumble in a handshake, and suddenly, every other quality gets quietly downgraded too, completely unrelated to whatever actually happened. So here's the thought worth carrying with you. The next time you meet someone and feel an instant, confident sense of who they are, ask yourself what that judgment is actually built on. Because there's a real chance you're not evaluating the person in front of you at all. You're just standing underneath their halo and mistaking the glow for the truth.